friends, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Natasha, and today we are going to make a Copycat Panera soup bread bowl. These things are so delicious. This is so easy. If you've never made bread before, this is something you can totally do as a first time. The recipe will be in the description box below where you can download that. So the very first thing you're going to do is add your yeast to your warm water. And I also added in the sugar. I'm just gonna give it a whisk, and then you're going to slowly add it into the dough. Please keep in mind that for this recipe, I did double it because we have more than 3 people in the family who are going to eat this. So I am making a double recipe compared to what is linked in the description box below. So if everything looks a lot bigger than what it should, that is why. So I'm actually using like 6 cups of flour instead of 3 cups of flour to make ourselves 6 bread rolls. This made 6 really decently sized bread bowls, and they were absolutely delicious. Everybody in the family really loved them. This is how we save money instead of going to Panera. This is what Luke was really craving, so instead of going to Panera, we just hand make them ourselves for a fraction of the price. It is kind of something that you do need to pre-plan a little bit. I'm doing this at about 1:30 in the afternoon, so it's not crazy where you gotta be up at like 9 a.m. and get this all going, but it does need 2 proofing sessions, but it goes pretty quickly. You can definitely use a kitchen stand mixer. I was not gonna drag mine out for just this one batch. But you could totally do that and then just mix it on low until this all goes into a ball. I obviously wanted another arm workout for the day, so we are just kneading with our hands because that is the best mixing machine we have. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is add in the olive oil. You could totally add this in at the beginning and mix it all in, incorporate it, but I like to get a feel of what the dough is going to feel like before I do this. So I always add mine in afterwards. I'm sure that's probably not how it's supposed to be done, but this is how I do it. And I've been doing it this way for a long time, for almost all of my breads. So as you can see, the oil is right there, and then I'm just going to fold it in with my hands and make sure it's all coated. All right, and there she is. She is a nice big ball. We're just gonna leave her in the bowl and put a wet kitchen towel over top and put it in a warm spot. So I have let this proof for about an hour and 20 minutes. So you can see it is definitely doubled in size. And please excuse all the dirty dishes in the back. Obviously we make lots of dishes when we scratch cook like this. So I'm just gonna punch it down and pull the sides in. Try and reincorporate everything back in. And then I'm gonna dust just a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick. And we're gonna knead for just a little bit, not too long. Okay, so I'm gonna knead a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it into 6 little bread dough balls. Remember, like I said, this is a double recipe, so you would only be realistically using half of the amount of dough that I am if you follow the recipe. I'm pinching in the sides just because I want to try to get my bread bowls as even dough as possible. I could have weighed this out, but I was not going to do all that. So we've got 3 almost even. I made a couple of them a little bit bigger for Big Luke and Little Luke, so their bowls could hold more soup. Just form them into nice little round balls, just like this. And I'm just gonna set them over on a tray. I just have these Amazon silicone mats on this tray. I didn't spray the tray or anything like that, just using the mats.
You're Daddy.
Yes, it's Daddy. I'm having to do a voiceover on this video because the kids had the telly on and the dogs were coming in and out, and you can see the kids coming in and out and Luke coming in and out. So we are doing a voiceover for this. And you can hear the kids are still not being quiet. Okay, so we got ourselves 2 out of the 6 little round dough balls. I'm just pinching all the sides in. That's how I like to do it. You want your tray that you're using to be big enough to allow them to expand because they are going to do another proofing session. So they will get a little bit bigger than this. So you want to have some room on that pan. You don't want them touching, or you will have one massive bread bowl. All right, so these will proof for another 30 to 45 minutes. I just leave them on the tray and throw that kitchen towel back over top. Next thing I'm gonna do is we are reusing that chicken goop from yesterday. We're going to thin it out a little bit. I've added a little bit more extra chicken that was left over from a rotisserie chicken from a couple days ago. I'm gonna add that in there to bulk it up a bit, and then we are going to try to shake out the rest of this chicken goop. It kind of got a little bit thicker as it sat in the fridge. So we're gonna scoop all that out, and I'm adding about 2 cups of vegetable broth. This is my home canned veggie broth from canning the kitchen scraps the other day. There is a blog post on that if you wanna learn how to do that. You can check that out on the blog as well. You could totally throw in the leftover rice in this. We didn't, but you could totally do that and thicken it up a little bit. Or you could add in some extra veggies depending on how many people you are trying to serve. This right here actually made about 5 decently sized bread bowls. So it filled up the bread bowls, the bread filled up the tummies. Nice, easy budget meal right here. And then I am gonna add in just a splash of milk just because I had some. I don't think it's totally necessary. If you had some heavy whipping cream or even probably a little bit of cream cheese would have worked well in this. And we are just gonna simmer this on low for a couple hours just to keep it nice and warm. I I think we simmered this for about an hour and a half-ish. And the next step with the bread, I've got my helper here, Xylee. She's in her Sky Halloween costume from last year. But I've got my egg whites and water, and we are just going to brush down those bread bowls. It's a great way to have your kids help in the kitchen without making a huge mess. She did a pretty good job. Now this part is not on the recipe, but I personally enjoy flavored bread. So I brought out the garlic salt and the black pepper, and after Xylee has egg washed them, we are just gonna sprinkle some of this on top, and it made the bread so delicious to have just that little bit of extra punch to it. You could use any seasoning you like, depending on what type of soup you're putting in the middle of these. These bread bowls would be fantastic with chicken noodle soup, cheesy potato soup, or loaded potato soup, or cheesy broccoli soup. Xylee says cheesy broccoli soup is her favorite, or even tomato soup. So these are very versatile. You can use them for just about any soup. We just happen to have chicken goop soup left. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to bake these for 20 to 25 minutes on 400 degrees. And this is how those beautiful babies came out. Look at that. Easy budget meal. I would have probably spent $10 or $15 buying the bread from the local grocery store. This is a much better way to do it. It's very quick and easy. Like I said, this is an easy beginner-friendly recipe. All you do is go through and you cut out the top. I cooled these for about 20 minutes and then I went through and cut them because you don't want to cut them right away. And then I just took a spoon and I lightly scraped out the inside. Please don't worry, the insides of these bread bowls will not get wasted. We are going to dehydrate them and make them into breadcrumbs today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. We will see you in the next video. Bye.